Hello and welcome to the next video in the MB Sports Web Tournament Module video training series. In this video we're going to look at managing scores, so this is as the tournament is ongoing. We're going to showcase how to report scores from either a standard browser or from a mobile device, and then also cover off how to advance teams. Now in the first video we showcased how to set up users to have access to the tournament module, either as a tournament administrator or as a tournament webmaster. So it should be pointed out in this case that the tournament webmasters have the ability to post scores. So typically the convener for the tournament would have tournament admin access, and if there's any volunteers at each of the venues who might be posting scores, then you can set them up as a tournament webmaster so that they have the ability to do that. So once again, back in the MB Sports Web demo site for this tournament, we're now looking at the tournament admin module, looking at this manage scores area. This has a few different pages available. We can look at the unreported games list, which would be for the entire tournament, all on one page. Now, because again, we've added a schedule for this particular tournament after it's already happened, there's a lot of unreported games, but normally this list would have just a few games that have been played who don't yet have a score, so this should be the most common list of games you're going to be looking at when posting the scores. We also have the ability to look at games by individual group. So if we want to see just the games within the minor atom group, for example, then this page is kind of nice because it does show us the standings on the same page as the list of games. And we also have the ability to look at the full schedule. In this case, again, the full schedule and the unreported games list is the same because it's all games are not reported yet. And also we have the games by venue. So if you have score reports coming in from the various venues from the tournament, to quickly isolate where that score is coming from, we have this games by venue page, which allows you to quickly enter in those schedules. Now, regardless of which page you're looking at, the process for posting scores is exactly the same. So we can look at the game as we hover over. If it changes to yellow, that means we can enter the score. If it changes to red, that means the game hasn't yet happened, so we won't be able to post a score for that game yet. So let's go look at the minor atom group, because this is one of the smallest groups and it has the fewest number of games. And we look at this first game and just double click on that game and load in the score. So in this case, the score was Hamilton Junior Bulldogs 1 and the Hamilton Huskies 2. And that's all there is to posting the score. We'll hit update and that will post the score for the game. In the top part, it's going to change the round robin matrix to, instead of showing the day and the time of the game, it will show the score and whether it's a win or a loss for that particular team. And as we hover over it will say who it was against and when it was. So that's posting scores from a standard browser. We can also do this from within the Manage Site Content module for the tournament. It also has the same Manage Scores area with the exact same views available for each of those groups, or for the global unreported games list for the entire tournament. Now, to look at this, how it might look on a mobile device, we're going to use an emulator here to take a look at what the site looks like on an iPhone. The login is found at the top of the page, just like on the regular version of the site, and it'll ask you to enter your username and password. We'll go ahead and log in. And then on the mobile site, there's a control panel at the top available. Within that, if you're a tournament administrator, you'll see both options, but otherwise, we'll just click on Tournament Admin. Within here, it'll then say we'll pick a tournament, so we'll choose the world's greatest tournament. And then it's going to ask us to choose the scores page. And from here, it's going to say what day do we want to look at and what venue. So the idea here is that the person who is recording scores from a mobile device is physically at that venue, perhaps even watching the game as the time is winding down or the last pitch is being thrown. And they can then choose the venue that they're at and what day that they're looking at. And that will then give them a list of all the games that are happening on that venue on that day. So we're looking for other minor atom games here. So there's another one. We click on or tap on record score, and similarly to the desktop version of the website, all it is typing in the score for that game. So this one here happened to be a 3-3 tie. Hit submit, and then the score shows up on the website, but also it still stays on this page. And that way, if you've made a mistake for this particular game, the scores do appear, but we can now, instead of saying record score, the link says to change the score. So if you make a mistake, you just click change score, put the new scores, and correct the game. So back to the main website, what I'm going to do is pause the video and post the scores for the remaining games that were in this division. Okay, so now we've got every single score posted for all the round robin games for the Minor Atoms. And in this particular division, because it's just one round robin pool with 6 teams, they've already played 5 games, so they've decided just to have a championship game between the top 2 teams. Now, if we try to post a score for this game, it's going to tell us that this game has at least one of the teams that are using a label. So it has some instructions on the screen that says what you need to do. But basically that means going back to the Manage Schedules area, which is only found within the Tournament Admin module for Minor Atom. And we can see that the top 2 teams are Mississauga and Peterborough. So we could just go in and change this game to change the label for Mississauga and Peterborough, but that doesn't actually fix the problem that you can't post a score for this game. What you need to do is ensure that those 2 teams have been added to the championships division. Now, because the site does not auto advance teams, we need to click assign teams to division. Now we're going to choose championships, and it's going to ask us who we want to put into that division. So we're going to choose Mississauga and Peterborough and update. And now it's going to show that these 2 teams are within that championships division. So this time, if we go and edit that game, it knows that the game is in the championships division, and now this use label checkbox, previously we could not uncheck it. Now we can actually uncheck it to say that the first place in Division A, which was Mississauga, and the second place in Division A, which was Peterborough, are the 2 teams, and we can go ahead and update that. So now we know exactly who's playing in that game. Once this game's happened, we can now return back to the Manage Scores area for the Minor Atoms and double click the game, and it will let us enter the score with whoever won it. Now all these scores are going in as well. If you have enabled the Twitter integration, then as each score is going into the system, these scores are also being tweeted out. It will include in that tweet the group that the game belongs to, as well as the score for each team. So if I'm a coach for one of those teams in that group, all I got to do is follow the Twitter account for the tournament. I can then get notified instantly when scores are being posted and just look at those tweets to see if it affects my group. And if it does, look to see who affects or what the score was. In addition, it also has a link back to the tournament, the mobile version of the tournament site. So if they're checking the standings on their phone, they can certainly do that without having to stick around unnecessarily at the tournament or to be calling or emailing the tournament conveners. It's a lot of self-serve options that's available for those coaches and managers to see what's going on for the tournament.